859 on the index. Well, let's move right on, and in fact joining in right now on the show to talk a little bit more about how round one has commenced of the coal auctions, given that we've seen a lot of aggressive bidding. We've got Basant Poddar, who is in fact the Vice President of the Federation of Indian Mineral Industries, or FIMI, joining in on the show. Great to have you with us, Mr. Poddar. To start off with, we've just been getting a lot of comments, including from the Coal Secretary, as well as to how the first round of the auctions have panned out. We've seen quite a bit of aggressive bidding. What is, how would you exactly characterize it, and will you call, the pricing that we've seen aggressive so far?
I think, first of all, it's a very historic event which is happening in independent India, auctioning of coal blocks. And the aggressive bidding has happened in the first initial rounds, which will gradually be more not aggressive, more tepid in future. But I think it's a fantastic thing which has happened, and in my opinion, the government of India should be congratulated on this issue, and they should also spend much more money on exploration and get world-class techniques to explore more areas of coal and other minerals all over India. People, companies from Canada, from Australia, who are masters in exploration should be brought into India, and the best resources in exploration should be used to make a definite resource mapping of India.
Clearly having a good impact on most of the stocks there. Moneth Ispat is one of them, which is higher by 11.5%. Mr. Poddar, now there are various issues that companies have raised and some litigations are on. Any major issues that you see in the auctioning?
I think these issues will get sorted out by the High Courts and the Supreme Court. They are fully abreast, and the government of India is committed to take the reforms forward, and India should become the largest producer of coal in the next 5 years. And these issues, in my opinion, are, initially so many leases have been cancelled, concessions have been cancelled, so there will be some heartburn among the existing lessees who have lost their leases. So these issues, in my opinion, will be sorted out ASAP, and then we should have a golden future in coal mining in the country.
But let's talk about the expectations, from the next round of auctions in terms of pricing, because we were speaking to the coal minister earlier, the coal secretary rather earlier, who said that given that we have seen a pickup in demand, there might not be that much aggressive pricing in terms of the next round of coal auctions. What is it that you can expect?
Absolutely. I think the initial round is like initially when you throw open something, people rush and buy like an iPhone. Initial day launches, you have millions of users, standing in line overnight and all those things. So initially there's been a lot of euphoria. It will taper down, but you will see sanity return to the bidding processes, and India is in my opinion on the path to achieving a 500 million to 1 billion ton production target in the next 5 years, which is good. And the biggest thing is the states are getting fantastic revenues. The districts where the mining is happening is getting fantastic revenues. And it's a very transparent process. So it's a win-win for all. It's a fantastic situation for a country to be in at this point in time.
You did say it's a win-win for all, but now steel companies have actually lost out on the aluminium counterparts, but aluminium companies in fact have higher margins and can bid higher.
Yeah, you see, I'm not talking about the past. The past is buried. The Honorable Supreme Court has cancelled the licenses. Going ahead, it has to be an auction transparent process, which the government of India has very fairly put in very, quick. It's been a very fast transition to the auctioning process of coal blocks. So in my opinion, the fittest will survive, the best will survive in the industry.
And finally, what are the expectations from the budget in the metal sector? Is FIMI also, proposing to the government to levy safeguard duty on steel imports?
Yeah, we are looking at, first of all, cutting off iron ore export duties from the present 30% to a reasonable level, particularly for low-grade iron ores, which are not much in use in demand in India. That is number one. We are also seeking for, imposition of higher import duties on finished steel products, which are coming into India, because a lot of it is being dumped into India at very low prices.
Right, Mr. Poddar, we leave it at that. Thanks very much for taking time out, chatting with us and sharing your perspective with us. Well, that's a word coming in on the coal auctions.
Thank you very much.
As you can see, impact on a lot of stocks, Monnet Ispat being one of them, a price volume breakout that is happening above the 20 daily moving average, and highest volumes in 1 year is what we are seeing for Monnet Ispat. The stock currently is higher in trade by more than 11%. Well, time then to slip into a short break.